Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name's Carter, and I am joined today by Nate. We're going to talk as little or as much Ducks hockey as we can possibly talk about, since we're 57? 56 games into this? 57 games
now. Yeah.
57 games into the season, and we just don't know how much more we can come up with that is not like the same thing, just like repeated over and over.
I was going to say, are we also not talking as much just because we're losing our voice, or what's going on there, bud?
Me?
Yeah. Sounds like you're losing your voice a little bit.
No, I don't know. I didn't sleep well last night, so maybe I'm just a little tired.
Maybe that's
could be it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Or just like something's in your throat and it'll be gone in a couple seconds. Who knows?
Could be. Yeah. It has been like super cold here the last few days too. So like my throat's just been like ridiculously dry. Not like in a sick way.
I mean, like it already does sound better than like right off the very start. So
yeah, sounds good.
Might have just been me too. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll just blame the internet.
Yeah.
That poor connection. That's gonna be it.
Always blame the internet. It's just somebody on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, some Twitter hacker or whatever. But
yeah, exactly. Changing your voice.
Yeah. But no, I don't think I'm sick anyways. I don't know. We'll find out in a couple days maybe.
Get down with the sickness, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah. So I'm just not on top of it today.
Oh no. That wasn't like an on you thing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Time to start. Yeah, let's just start over.
Yep. Yeah. Hi, how's it going? Oh man.
Yeah. How's your week been so far?
It's been all right. It's break from school, but it hasn't been a break from school work, to say the least.
Yeah, so. You were saying I can't remember if you said it on air or not, but you had like a lot of assignments due like as soon as you get back, so it's not really going to be a break. It's just like no class. Yeah,
exactly. It's I think on the Monday, or not. I know because I looked at it today. I have 2 assignments due and 2 midterms on the Monday. So yeah, it's good times. So, but over the last 2 days, I've done. Well, I guess those 2 assignments are 2 papers, and I did them both over the last 2 days. So I at least got that out of the way. But
yeah.
So yeah, only a case study and a reflection and my portion of another paper still to do next week, because I guess there's 5 assignments due. So
yeah, I mean that's reasonable, I think.
Yeah, can make it happen hopefully. So
yeah,
but yeah, what about you? What's been going on in the world of accounting?
I mean, numbers are still numbers. 2 + 2 is still 4. So
okay, I'm glad that hasn't changed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as I know, yeah.
Like my sister's finishing up grade 12, and like I have seen like some of her homework over the last couple of years, right? Yeah. And like for like grade 10, grade 11, I'm just like, we didn't do any of this even. What the hell is this? Like,
oh really? Or did we just not? Or did we do it and you just are like, I'm never going to use this, and then immediately blocked it out of your
mind? Some of it
that was like 10 years ago. So
some of it I genuinely don't think we did. I'm like, I have no recollection of this in particular.
Oh, okay.
So, or even like the one semester that I had of when I was on like route to, try to be a teacher or that kind of thing. Like I did have a practicum in class, and like even some of the ways, like it was a grade 3 class, some of the ways that they were like showing multiplication, I was just like, okay, this isn't even close to what we did. Like, mind you, grade 3 was a long time ago.
Yeah,
but
they have definitely changed that kind of stuff though. Yeah. Not that I have any like connection to, grade 3 kids who do math, but like just from like what I've seen on like, Facebook or like Reddit or whatever, when people are like, oh, this is my kid's math homework. Like, and back in my day, you just like did 12 + 14, and now you got to like, I don't know, add letters and shit in there and like draw a little seagull to like figure it out. And I'm like, what the fuck? And what do they call it? It's like discovery math or some shit.
I have no idea.
There's like some weird name for it. Yeah. I don't know.
Ridiculousness anyway. The one thing I did have to laugh though about that, and I think I told you this like when it happened, was like the social studies textbook that they had. That textbook was introduced when we were in grade 3. Like the year that we were in grade 3, that was a brand new curriculum in that, and they're still using the same book. I was
wild.
laughing at that. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, it is still relevant for sure.
Yeah.
But I was just laughing. I'm like, man, like, I don't know if that says more about, the curriculum needs a shakeup or just me. Like, if this is more about me and like how long I've been around kind of thing. But
yeah, a little bit of both, maybe.
A little bit of both. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
we did talk about it on the last episode, but really just from my perspective, you also saw Ant-Man Quantumania on, I guess that was that yesterday?
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, so just generally, I guess we'll still do spoiler-free, just in case
still spoiler-free.
Someone hasn't seen it yet, but just in general, what were your thoughts on it?
I really liked it personally. I could see what you were talking about though, of like, if you're in like the Marvel long haul, you can definitely see it. But if you're just kind of like a casual person just looking for a movie kind of thing, it might kind of like, I think you'll still enjoy it, but especially at least like off the hop, it might seem kind of odd.
Yeah. Well, you went with your girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know her investment in the Marvel. Like, I know she's seen all of them because, I mean, she's dating you. She's seen every Star Wars and Marvel movie at least once. But I don't know, like, how much she really cares about it. So, what were her thoughts?
She enjoyed it, is what she said, at least. Like, like she had a good time and that sort of thing. She's fallen off in the sense of like the Disney Plus TV shows and that kind of thing that all connect back into it. So like, just from, walking through the house while I was watching something, like she kind of like understood some of the references that are made or that kind of thing. But like, I don't think there were too many references that necessarily went over her head kind of thing.
Yeah. Like you didn't have to you didn't have to be caught up on everything to be able to watch it and know what's going on, but there was like little connections, I guess, that you could make. So
and I guess like as part of the jokes themselves in the movie, it does kind of give you those like kind of flashbacks to certain things.
Yeah.
Right, like for the comedic effect. So that kind of worked out as well, actually. So there was we can talk about like what the joke was off air if you don't know which one I'm talking about right offhand. Okay. But it was definitely one of those ones where like it felt like one of those forced Marvel ones, but I actually did get a good kick out of it. Like, it was just kind of funny. Like it was closer to the end. We'll put it that way.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know which one you're talking about, but
that's like, especially with a guy like Paul Rudd, it was just a genuinely like funny movie.
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah, I thought so.
There's it's hard to just say it, I guess, without going into spoilery area. But I did kind of I texted you the idea last night, but I could also have seen kind of some of the plot points be for a different movie sequel, which I thought was kind of interesting, like just from my perspective at least. But like for what it was, though, I did still really enjoy it. Kang, especially, without getting into spoilers, Jonathan Majors in that role is fantastic. And I mean, if you pay enough attention to the MCU, right? Like, you're looking at the upcoming slate of movies, that's not the only time we'll see a variant of Kang. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So to see what else he can do with the role, I'm really excited to see. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think I stayed spoiler free.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah. If you were to rank the Marvel movies, like I did, I was shitty and didn't do my homework. I didn't watch the second Ant-Man, first Ant-Man and the Wasp, the middle movie of the trilogy. I know I'm terrible, but if you were to rank all three, where would you put each of them?
Oh man, I do have a soft spot for the first one, so I got to put that first.
Yeah,
and then I probably have to go 3, 2. And that's not to say that the second one's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
But more just some of the development, I guess, in the third movie, and like having an idea of where it might go and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's the one thing I find that's interesting with a lot of these Marvel movies as well is like they're all taking a look at because the world itself has changed thanks to the blip, right?
Yeah.
Like Thanos snapping everybody out of existence 5 years later, they're all coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to kind of see how that's tackled in each movie. It's kind of interesting to see, I thought. So
yeah, it's all a little bit different and different perspectives and different ways that certain people are dealing with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them not just do like the same thing over and over again. Like
exactly.
with that. So no, it's good. Yeah, we'll maybe try and schedule a non-spoiler free review of it for an episode on a slower day, but obviously with trade deadline coming up, there's a lot of other bigger fish to fry in the hockey and specifically Anaheim world. But maybe eventually we'll get to one. So yeah. Well, speaking of Anaheim Ducks hockey, I guess we can take a trip over to Florida and talk about a couple games that recently happened there.
Can we actually go to Florida? It's fucking cold here again.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey. Yeah, I wish. Oh. But yeah, okay. Let's get into it.
Also, really quickly for the can we go to someplace else warm? Hi to my family that went to Jamaica while I'm here.
Yeah, they picked a good time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man, I thought we were getting into spring, and then this week it's like, nope, snow, wind, -20, which is like 0 Fahrenheit probably. I don't know.
I was so content I could just wear a hoodie and be perfect.
Yeah, right.
And I actually had to take out my winter coat. And if you know me in person, especially, I'm horrible at wearing a winter coat, but it's also just because I run so hot.
Mm-hmm.
That is just not ideal for me. So, but yeah, I actually had to put it on today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless of where this game actually would have been, Anaheim, if it would have been in Anaheim or where it actually was in Sunrise, it was going to be nice and toasty. So, nobody avoiding bad weather here. Unless it rained, I guess, in California, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
There were some massive storms that were happening. I saw videos of sand going across the streets of Huntington Beach or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is nuts, I think. But
yeah.
We got we got Ronnie popping in the chat there. Or sorry, pooping in, as he says. Quack, quack, quack. What's going on, Ronnie?
Hey, welcome.
Good to see you.
4-3 Panthers win in overtime. Over the Ducks on, I guess that was Monday morning on your holiday Monday there. Yeah, I mean, again, it's that time of the season where I'm kind of torn. If this would have happened, say 30 games ago, I'd have been like, oh, sick, we got a point against Florida. That's awesome.
Now
I'm happy with this team.
Guys, no, we're 32nd right now. Actually, no, but you know what though, with the history of the draft, and specifically the draft lottery, maybe we want 31st.
Yeah, we kind of brought that up last time too, but I mean, I don't know. I think I really don't know how to feel, but
either way though, another game, another overtime loss.
Yeah, exactly.
And another point or another tally in the OTL category. So
yeah, which I mean, I think Florida deserved to win this one. It's pretty hard to argue that. So the fact that we even got a point, we should be happy about. But
yeah, even after what I have in the notes here is just Florida was sleeping, I think, for the first period.
Oh yeah, oh big time.
And then they went, oh okay, yeah, we'll play hockey now. Yeah, not even necessarily try, just we'll play.
Yeah, and that's it.
Took it from there basically. So
yeah,
not even necessarily about the game itself. I didn't realize that Eric and Mark Stahl were both in the Panthers.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. Honestly, I knew that. I knew that one of them was there at least, and I can never remember which one is which. I'm just like, there's 3 Stahl brothers. They all play in the NHL, and every once in a while I hear a Stahl, and then I just know that one of them is, still doing stuff.
But Eric so it's Eric, Mark, and then Jordan, who's the captain of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, right. I forgot he was the captain. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but and both of those guys got a goal in this game too. Like both Mark and Eric.
Was it Eric Stahl's like a milestone game for him? Because they were highlighting him quite a lot, and like his kids were on, like, I know it was kids day, I guess, at the game, so that could be why his kids were on the ice. But I don't know, it seemed like he was like highlighted a lot more than you would expect.
Not that I can see here. 13. Okay. I mean, no, it wasn't like a milestone game necessarily.
Did he like recently hit a milestone for goals or assists or points or something?
He might have for assists in that game, maybe. Okay. No, maybe not. No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he was featured in the pre-games, but it could have just been because he was mic'd up the whole time, so that's why
it's probably more, yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, it's kind of weird that the Stahl brothers are all, still like relevant in the NHL. Like it's not like they're just like still, waiting for their deals to end and like they might put up like 10 points a season or whatever, but but like they're all still like relevant and like producing, not at the clip they used to be, but they're just like all out east, so I don't ever really pay attention to them that often. But then when I watch one of their games, their like names come up and they usually tend to score or get an assist, and I'm like, what the you guys are still around? That's wild, because they're the same draft as Getzlaf. Well, Eric was anyways.
Eric, first round, the second overall pick to the Carolina Hurricanes. He's still like at 38 years old. And remember, like, I think was it this season that like he didn't have a contract right away, or was it last season? It might have been last because of I think it might have been last because that's why he was able to go to the Olympics.
Yes.
But I mean, he's still got 20 points in 50 games played this year.
Yeah, like that's
like 11 goals. Yeah, exactly. Like that's still a solid piece, and he's being paid league min. I'm able to say this off the top of my head because I did actually look into it like while the game was happening. I was like all stuff. So he's doing all right there, and Florida's fighting for a playoff spot, which it is nice to see. Like last year, the Eastern Conference was basically set by November, wild card included.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There was just like, okay, a couple teams are maybe fighting for like what position, but like by Thanksgiving, we knew what teams were going to be there already.
And essentially, we knew the matchups too. Like, I can never remember which division it is, but the Tampa, Toronto, Boston one, like
the Atlantic,
like barring any just wild upsets, like it was going to be Toronto and Boston with Toronto at 2.
And that's the same. And that's the same right now as well. It's Boston with 91 points, and then it drops to Toronto with 78, which is still phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Tampa with 75, and then the next would be Florida, who now has that second wild card spot at 64 points. So like it's an 11-point gap between like fourth and third in the division here.
Yeah,
so
that's wild. But Ronnie saying, all right, time for some dog walking. I'll be back towards the end, hopefully. Nice. If not, you guys know I got I got you guys for a full listen tomorrow early morning, which we
better be back for the end. We got a fun little quiz that everybody can partake in.
Yeah. Also hitting that like on the way out. Nice. And we got Lucas saying, what's up, boys? Hello, Lucas.
What's up, Lucas? So like Florida, I was kind of surprised by their initial, like their first period, I guess, because of the fact that, they're fighting for that those 2 wild card spots, right? I thought that they would have been like, okay, like, let's get this done, basically. However, they only needed 2 periods to do it. So, but in that first period,
give us a little handicap, a little bit of a head start.
In the first period, at least, the Ducks did look decent, honestly.
Oh yeah.
So Mason McTavish, keeping good on staying on rebounds, which that's great to see, especially out of a young player there to get the first goal of the game. McTavish had a good game as well. I got 4 shots on net and little over, like, close to 2.5 minutes on the power play and little south of 17 minutes for the night. So, which, if I'm not mistaken, was in the upper end of time on ice.
Yeah, for forwards anyways. So,
yeah. But that took me to the regular season. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, no, I thought he was looking good. The start there as well. I think it was later on in the game, but Toronto got another goal. So he's keeping that, 3 goals in the last 5 games pace at this point, which is great to see as well. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, seems like he's really settling into the team. And I mean, he scored 2 against one of his former teams. I guess it was Florida, then the Rangers before he came here.
Yeah. But one guy that we don't talk about a whole lot offensively, I find, seemed to like Sunrise. And that was Dmitry Kulikov, who put up an assist in just south of 22 minutes of time on ice, as well as some shorts, some power play or penalty kill, time. I thought he looked decent in this game as well. So, which, not that he doesn't normally look decent, but like,
he's normally one of those like unnoticeable, just kind of flies under the radar kind of guys, but like in a good way though.
Yeah, he's unnoticeable unless there's something like drastically noticeable, and usually it's on the back end, right? So, which is the vast majority of just this entire team. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But if it was up to me for handing out the 3 stars or that kind of thing, John Gibson in this one, giving the team a chance. Let's be honest here. Even though you started the second period with a 2-0 lead, it was John Gibson doing his damnedest to keep the team in for the rest of the game. Putting up a .927 save percentage. He had 55 shots against. 22 of those were considered high danger by natural stat trick.
That's a lot.
And all 4 of the goals being high danger goals as well, considered by natural stat trick there. So, but still putting up a 1.25 goal save above expected. He was playing lights out in that game, and the ones that did go in, I don't think you can blame on him by any means.
No, definitely not.
So, but yeah, he was just looking good. So
yeah. But Lucas asking, did Gibby set another record? LOL.
No, unfortunately,
it's probably up there, but
yeah, unfortunately not, because he made 51 saves in this. So, but you know what? Like while we're talking about that, let's see where that game got put actually while we're talking about it.
Honestly, like I think it'll still be up there. Like maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna guess 13th overall in those standings.
13th overall.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Oh no,
51 saves.
You said 41. Saves. 41 or 51?
51 saves.
Oh, you mean 51? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say
55 shots against.
Maybe a little higher then. I'll say 11th.
So 11th. Okay, I'm going top 5.
Okay.
And it's just loading here. Oh no, I apparently clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. All right. Carter. 51 saves by John Gibson on 55 shots in a 4-3 loss in overtime to the Florida Panthers put him in 4th spot.
Oh, damn.
So John Gibson has 4 of the top 5 Anaheim Ducks records for most saves in a game.
Wow.
4 out of 5 of them.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
And
Lucas had top 3, so he was close. Yeah.
And only one of those 4 is not within the last calendar year.
Yeah.
Still being that 4-3 shootout win over the Philadelphia Flyers New Year's Day of 2017, where he also made 51 saves, but on 54 shots.
Oh, okay.
So his save percentage just that slight bit better, which gives it that third spot there. So, only there's 3 other goalies who have put up 51 saves as well in a game that are 5th, 6th, and 7th position. 7th position, I honestly don't remember this guy at all, nor do I overly want to take a shot at his last name. Mikhail Stalinkov. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. It was a 5-2 win for the Anaheim Ducks over the Ottawa Senators in 1998. Put up 51 saves on 53 shots. Next, you got Jonas Hiller, a 3-2 shootout win over the Edmonton Oilers, 51 saves on 53 shots in 2008. And then J.S. Jaguar, 2004, a 8-6 win over the Detroit Red Wings.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Sorry, would you say that guy's name was Mikhail Stalinkov?
Yeah, SHTALENKOV.
Oh, he's wow, he is hard to find. I mean, he's hard to spell, but it's hard to find too.
Yeah, and to be fair, that game specifically that he played in and set that record that got him 7th on the list. I was 1 year old.
Okay,
1 year old when that game happened. So
before
we got anybody screaming at their car radio or whatever, going like, "You don't know who Mikhail is?"
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry,
I wouldn't totally blame you for it. Like, he's played 190 games in the NHL between 1993 and 2000. So the first 5 years were with the Ducks when the Ducks were just starting out. Played in Edmonton for a year, and then at this time, it went where all players went to die, which was Phoenix, Arizona, and then Florida as well. So, like, essentially irrelevant after he left. Well, I guess after he left Edmonton, but
ouch.
Yeah. So he didn't have a long career and he didn't play a ton, and it was also like not before our time, but before our memory, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I only got one more note. If there's anything that you had,
I don't know.
No. The only other thing I wanted to talk about here was just the goal that was called back for the Florida Panthers.
Oh yeah.
I was honestly ready for the Situation Room to be like, yeah, that's a good goal.
Just because you never know.
You never know. Exactly. Like, I was watching it and I'm like, this should, like, that's the thing. When you go, this should be goaltender interference. That's when you should be worried.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're not sure, then everything is fine. When it's blatant one way or the other, though, that's when you should be worried.
Yeah, you're like,
which
oh,
is
this is
the complete
easy.
Opposite of what it should be.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah.
So, but I was kind of laughing because this game was on Sportsnet, but we were, whenever games are on Sportsnet, we get the home feed, right? So we were getting the Florida Panthers Bally feed, and I had to kind of laugh a little bit because the Florida broadcasters are talking about, how Gibson was way out of his net with no chance of getting back, kind of thing. Like, just in regards to like, oh, like the goaltender interference, like call giving back. There's like, well, he was so far out of the way though. And it's like, yeah, but that's not how the rule fucking works. Okay.
Yeah.
There was somebody else that was talking about that on Twitter as well. That was talking about like, oh yeah, like he had no chance though to make that save. And it's like, yeah, but that's not how the rule works here. So why is that being brought up? I agree. He had no chance. However, though, there has to be a chance given, right? And in that case, there obviously wasn't. It's kind of hard to make a save in front of the net when you get pushed behind it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, except for just tipping the net over, but that's a penalty. So
yeah, geez, Henrik Lundqvist from however many years ago.
Yeah, whenever that was. We got Reniel jumping into the chat saying, hey, welcome, Reniel. Good to see you again.
What's up, buddy?
It was an obvious one. I'm glad it was just like, oh, yeah, nope, we're just calling it back. Like it was, it was like a 5-second review. So,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, though, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't just automatically overturned.
Yeah.
By the official on ice, that it had to go to the review. But at the same time, it was nice that it was just quick, done with. All right, let's keep playing kind of thing. And Eric Stahl got a goal later anyway to make up for it. So
yeah, exactly. I think to some extent now like when it's plays like that, the officials will just leave it and they'll just call it a goal because they can always go back and overturn it. So even if they're like on the ice, they're like, there's no way this counts. They still like call it a goal because they know that the coach, if it's that obvious, is going to call it back, which is why they just had to go and look and they're like, yeah, I was right. No goal.
But at the same time, then what if, and I mean, this would be bad on both sides. Don't get me wrong. What if you had a video coach? Because like those are the guys that are usually looking at these, right? It's not the head coach necessarily. Like they're talking with the video coach, and the video coach is saying like probably should challenge this, but in the end, it's up to the head coach to do it. What if you have like a video coach or the head coach decide, you know what, I'm not sure actually, just because of how, you know, you never know with the situation room it is, I'm going to leave that actually.
I mean, yeah, then it's bad. I think more so on the coaching staff. I think the only way like the Ducks probably wouldn't challenge this is if they like say I mean,
like we have seen goals against this year not challenged that maybe should have been.
Yeah, but those are generally in like games where it's not going to matter, or it's like so incredibly close that they don't want to risk giving up the power play if they're wrong. Like the game is close, but also the call is close. It's like, okay, yeah, so you probably should, but you just gave up a power play goal. Do you really want to give them another power play? Like it seems to be more that scenario. I think the only one that would really apply to the Ducks is if it was like 8-1 with like, 3 minutes to go and they were just like, fuck it. Who cares? Let's just drop the puck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fair enough.
But you're right. It is still a risk, but they are trying to, I think, err on the side of let's have more goals happen. So that's why they default to the goal, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, just from a reffing standpoint. And again, like we don't know that that's necessarily what's going on.
No,
just from a ref standpoint, you should just be calling what you think is going on. So if the ref didn't, see that Gibson got pushed, I'm also questioning where are your eyes going then?
Yeah,
bud. But two, like, just how are you looking at that situation? If you are looking at it and not just immediately blowing that off, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically you could say no goal, and then Florida could challenge and say no. I don't think there was goalie interference.
That I'm not. I don't think it works that way.
I thought.
I think it would be no
I
goal
feel like
in the
I've seen that, but maybe
have to call to say no. That actually was.
Oh yeah, maybe you can't challenge because like I've definitely seen reviews after a goalie interference and they blew it off. I don't know. I would have to look into that, but I feel
I don't think necessarily
like I've
for goalie
seen
interference,
it, so.
but for just like goals in general.
Yeah. So I don't know, but anyways, yeah, I think they made the right call, which is what matters in the end.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the Tuesday game, the second half of the back-to-back here.
If you thought it was bad, it gets worse.
Yeah. 6-1 loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning over on Tuesday night there on the other place that's in Florida, Tampa Bay. I mean, not the only other place, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I guess just we'll go back to our predictions for this one. You had said 5-3. I'd said 4-2. So 6-1 isn't really. It's not really close to that. Yeah, we were. But like, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, what happened? How did we lose 6-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning? 3-time consecutive Stanley Cup finalists. Like, I'm 0% surprised.
Yeah, no, you look at that and you just go, yeah, okay.
Lucas. Huh. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what you would call a SL, a scheduled loss.
Tampa Bay at home on the second half of a back-to-back.
Where Tampa Bay is rested as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
if the Ducks won this one, I would never watch a Ducks game again because nothing would ever top that. I don't think. Like it would just be like just such a shocking and mind-blowing win. But obviously that didn't happen. So
yeah. Now I wonder if Arizona potentially did just a small number on the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you'll remember back to last week, Tampa Bay and Arizona went to a shootout where Arizona won 1-0. Connor Ingram picking up his first ever shutout against the team that drafted him as well, I might add.
That's right, yeah.
And Tampa had Brian Elliott in net, right?
Because who also got a shutout, technically.
Yeah, who also did. But at the same time, like I was genuinely surprised to see Vasilevsky in net for Tampa.
Yeah,
like I get it, it's a home game and everything like that, but I'm like, you guys, it's the 32nd team in the league. You're throwing Vasilevsky up there?
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a choice. I was kind of shocked too.
Coughed up one, but
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I guess also at the end of the game they said that the Lightning set a new franchise record for the most consecutive
points
home games, or most
with at least a point.
Yeah, home game point streak essentially at 15. So like I guess in that sense, maybe you're like, oh, if we play Vasilevsky, then we basically guarantee ourselves that franchise record. I don't know if the coaching staff really pays attention to that or cares, but like this is probably like the one time where it's like, okay, we can kind of guarantee ourselves this, or at least, let's try a little bit harder. Not that you're not going to try hard, and not that it's probably not going to be a win regardless, but you just give yourself that extra little boost to set that franchise record and just give your team a little bit more momentum going into the playoffs, which is scary for the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, exactly. Specifically, it's scary for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Which kind of going back to the conversation that we had about the standings, that those are two teams that have known for a while that they're going to be playing against each other.
Yeah.
And so look for both of those teams to make moves specifically for that first round, I think.
I think
Toronto's
I think we've already seen Toronto
with Toronto and Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a trade. Jesus Christ.
Some news that we have
about it quick, but
some news that we have later in the podcast, I think will also kind of relate to this as well, but for the Tampa Bay side. I have some theories, but
we did get to see Dostal in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
which is also something that we predicted.
Yeah, he was great. So,
I said like I have it in like my notes that like he did good, but also kind of like he was all right. He was all right, but also when you consider the team it's a couple of them I'd say were on him. I don't remember which ones specifically, but like there's a couple where I'm like, yeah, that one you should have had, even as a young goaltender in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
There was also like a few that I was just like, yeah, dude, you had no chance on that, and that's on the team in front of you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The numbers, some of the numbers there definitely help that as well. An 864 save percentage. Natural Stat Trick said that he had 10 high danger shots against and allowed 3 of those to be goals.
I find that hard to believe. I think that whoever was counting the stats for that game is like kind of immune to the power of the Tampa Bay Lightning, because there's no way only 10 of those are high danger chances. Like,
let me take a look at the shot map again.
Like, if the Arizona Coyotes played the exact same game that the Lightning did, I feel like it would be 30 high danger chances. That's what I think, but that's just me.
I feel like some of them could have maybe been like medium, like from the low specifically. But speaking of which, 19 low danger shots against, and 2 of those were goals, is what Natural Stat Trick. that says so.
Maybe I'm the one that's biased, and I'm like, every shot that the Lightning take has a chance of going in, so every shot is a high danger shot.
I mean,
maybe
to
that's
be fair, almost every shift that the Lightning take throughout a game, or I guess, throughout this game specifically, looked like a power play.
Yeah.
Honestly, in part because of, Tampa and just who they have, who can score, who can pass, like who are the double threats as well.
Yeah.
But also the fact that our defense, like, you could tell that this team was tired, and also just they have nothing to go off of, because they were literally just standing around as if they were playing zone penalty kill the entire game, it looked like.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't know, maybe a little bit too much family day fun at the beach after the Florida game. Like, got a little bit of heat, not heat stroke, heat exhaustion, had a couple too many Bud Lights or something. Like, I don't know, maybe that's what happened. And then, they just carried over into this Tampa game. Like, I literally don't know. Or maybe they were just like, you know what, let's just not try, because like, why waste our energy when this is the team we're up against?
The entire team went, Troy got to come down here for the All-Star game. Like, let's experience it a little bit more, right? We only get to get here once a year. And so we saw the All-Star edition of Hangovers just translate into the game versus Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
how old is Dostal again? He is 21, is he not?
Yeah. I think he's 21, exactly.
22. Okay, so he's old enough to do, because I was gonna say if he was 20, I was gonna be like, and that's the reason why he was actually decent, is because he couldn't go and drink legally.
I mean, is that going to stop him? Probably not.
Well, maybe at bars, depending.
No, I don't know. If I was a bar owner, probably not. If I was a bar owner in Florida and the Anaheim Ducks walked into my bar, I like my first thought wouldn't be like, okay, I need to see all of your IDs. I would be like, here, what do you need? Like, I'll get you nachos, I'll get you beers, I'll get you, like, what do you want?
And that would be a very lucky bar to go to as an Anaheim Duck, because I feel like any other place, you might get a guy who's like, oh yeah, I know the Ducks, or yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I feel like
wearing their team merch, and they're like, oh, cool hat. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and that's not supposed to be a slight at Florida, but you do have, like the football down there, and basketball especially, right? Like, that's the more prominent things, I would say. So.
Yeah. Well, at the same time too, like, even if you take something like Toronto, like, what are the odds of a team like, say, I don't know, Anaheim or LA or San Jose, like, going to Toronto, walking into a bar and just like being recognized as the team by the Leafs bar owner, or like, sorry, the Toronto bar owner? Like, it could happen, but like,
more than likely.
Yeah, but like, the bar owner could just not give a shit about the California teams and just like not know who the players are. Like, maybe when we had Getsy, because he's pretty famous and it's hard to miss his cue ball look, but but now, like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't recognize them unless they were literally, well, I would recognize them, but like, unless they were all wearing jerseys, or like, unless they went to like a sports bar or something, odds are they're probably not getting recognized by just like the random bar staff or bar owner.
I feel like if you're in it enough that it, like, you're looking a bit more around the league, not just your team kind of thing.
Yeah,
you would definitely recognize guys here or there, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's yeah, I don't know. My point was just, it could happen. Like, you could go to a bar and not be recognized anywhere. I don't even know how we got here, and it's like not even important. I don't.
Hangovers, and that's why everybody's standing around in Tampa. Yeah.
I was like, how did we get to this hypothetical scenario of like, the Ducks going to a bar in Florida and being recognized, and like the same thing might happen in Toronto? Like, but yeah, I don't know. My point was, it could happen anywhere where you could be recognized or not. But
yeah, just some places are more likely than others.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. What else did I have here? Oh yeah. 5 times shorthanded. Speaking of penalty kills,
not what you want to do,
especially against Tampa Bay. You guys, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, something you don't want to happen is one of the former faces of your franchise scoring on you, Mr. Corey Perry.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
I just hurt to watch, honestly.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's like, all right, there's the past, putting it past the future. All right. Mm-hmm. All right, let's puck drop, please. Puck drop, please.
Yeah. Not to mention, Carrick got his face pounded in by former Pat Maroon too. So
yeah, that too. Okay, so the one note I have here is that Carrick was so far out of his league fighting Patrick Maroon.
Yeah, and
he brought it on himself too.
Yeah, I kind of missed what happened, so I don't really know how it started, but
it was before the draw. The two were kind of going at each other. Maroon gave him a little bit of a shot, but Carrick's the one who gave him a shot with the stick and was the first to drop his gloves.
Okay.
So that's why I'm putting it a bit more on Carrick.
Yeah, so he was like provoked by Maroon, but like he could have just taken it. And I mean, it was 6-0 at this point, or had we got the goal yet? I don't remember. I think it might have been 6-1.
It was 5-0 or 6-0 at that point.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was well before our goal, but
yeah, I mean, there was frustration there too, probably, but it's I don't know. I mean, props to him for trying.
So I'm going to go up against one of the biggest guys who has taken on Zdeno Chara on multiple occasions. That's what I'm going to do to vent my frustration. What the fuck are you doing, Carrick?
I don't know. Some guys, like, it's they get into that mindset of like, this team, like the team tonight sucks, like I suck tonight. Somebody just like pound my face in because that's what I deserve. It's like I don't know.
That's the only justification that I will allow for whatever the fuck that was. So, I mean, to be fair,
Sam Carrick went up to Pat Maroon and said, "Punish me, daddy," and that's it. and then that's all that took. That's what happened. That's my headcanon, anyways.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not even going further with the conversation after that, actually. What's the next thing?
I don't think you can, and we still have jobs after that. So,
oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. You stunned me with that.
You're welcome.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think with all that said, now's a good time to take a couple-minute break to let Nate recover his thoughts, start fresh, and just reset a little bit. And we will throw it over to our friends at DraftKings and promo code THPN there, and also at Raycon, promo code THPN for 15% off. And see you guys in just a couple minutes.
NBA fans, it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hand with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a free bet back. So, what are you waiting for? Download the app now and sign up with the code THPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in free bets instantly. Again, that's code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details. This time of year, everyone's talking about making big changes, which is all well and good, but most of the time, pretty unrealistic. You've probably found that the smallest changes to your routine can actually make the biggest impact. In the same way, you don't have to break the bank to make a big deal purchase. Even the smallest things can be part of a big change if it's something you use every day, just like Raycon earbuds. Raycon is premium audio at the perfect price point, so you can build great habits without breaking the bank. Whether you're looking for a pair of everyday earbuds, low latency gaming headphones, or a speaker with a battery that will last all night at your next party, Raycon's got you covered. And yep, Raycon start at half the price of other premium audio brands. That means you don't have to choose between products. You can get one of each, or a pair and a spare, and still pay less than you would with some of the other guys. Even if you know you'll love your Raycons, Raycon wants to make sure you feel great about your purchase. They offer buy now, pay later options, and every purchase has an easy and free return guarantee. Ready to buy something small with a big impact? Go to buyraycon.com/THPN today to get 15% off your Raycon order. Again, that's buyraycon.com/THPN to score 15% off. buyraycon.com/THPN.
Alrighty. You had some just overall thoughts about these couple games here, so I guess we'll kind of start there if you want.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't necessarily about these games in particular, more just something I've been kind of thinking about a little bit.
Okay.
Because especially with the trade deadline coming up, you know, one guy that we've been talking with, obviously this season, considering this is, you know, he joined the team this year.
Mm-hmm.
One guy we've been talking about a lot is John Klingberg. And one thing that we've been talking a lot about John Klingberg is, you know, for a defenseman, he doesn't overly play a bunch of defense. He's an offensive defenseman. I'll give him that. But that defense title is literally just a title, I feel like.
Oh yeah, like those like cards that JFresh posts on Twitter that say like, oh, this is like their offensive like percentile and their defensive and then like combined. Like for the last at least few years that I've seen, and it's probably been most of his career, the offense is like high 90s, and then the defense is like
zero.
Or zero. Yeah. Like it's just like abysmally low. So it's kind of nuts. But yeah.
So on that line of thinking, I had an idea, because going into this season, remember, he was trying to get heavily paid. And by the sounds of it, Dallas had offered him a 7x8 contract. But he had held out thinking that he could get more. Obviously, that didn't happen. He got the 7, but for 1 year and in Anaheim.
Yeah.
So, and with how he's been playing this year, and again, considering it's on Anaheim, he still has not looked good by any means. He's not helping his case at all.
Yeah.
And it's primarily on that defensive side, I feel like. Because
the
offense is still happening every now and then. Right? Yeah. When given like when there's a good opportunity to not fire into somebody's shins, stuff is happening, to say the least.
Yeah. And given how, you know, much of a desert it's been offensively in Anaheim, like he's actually putting up like decent numbers. Like if he's
got 22 points on the year, 7 goals.
Yeah, exactly. Like you scale that up to, you know, be like you scale Zegras and Terry up to what, say, like the guys in Colorado are doing, like Makar and McKinnon, and I'm assuming that's their top 2 scorers. Like you scale those numbers up and then like adjust Klingberg relatively, like you could probably easily like double his points.
Yeah,
I would imagine. So, you know, honestly, it's pretty decent for a for Klingberg on this black hole offense of a team.
Yeah.
Or black hole team. Black hole offense is what I'm trying to say. That didn't make sense, but yeah.
So with that in mind, though, especially heading into this trade deadline, because, you know, the original idea, it felt like to a lot of us, and I think to the team as well, was, okay, pick up Klingberg, do all right, fetch us a first, maybe a second round pick.
Yeah.
It's not looking like one of those 2 options, potentially.
No, definitely not.
Like I honestly feel like we would be like extremely lucky to get a second, I feel like, at this point. And I know that's something we talked about before. But with that in mind as well, it's that idea of nobody except for Anaheim last year seemed to go for him.
Yeah.
So he might be hard pressed, especially how this season's going, to find work next season. What if somebody, whether it's Anaheim, if they decide to keep him, after this summer, say he doesn't get traded and Anaheim decides to keep him around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if a team does trade for him and is able to do an extension, or even if he goes back to the free agent market and he gets picked up. Just an idea. What if whatever team he's on pulls a reverse Brent Burns? Take him off D because he is a complete liability there as a defenseman, which is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And try him on the wing. Because he
has
an
interesting thought. It's for sure.
He has the offensive prowess, for sure. He can't do it defensively, though.
Yeah.
He can't. Especially, at least anymore, it doesn't look like. The guy looks more lost than the entire cast of Lost in that series.
Yeah. Or the people that watched that series.
Yeah, that too. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like an idea to honestly salvage his career at this point and make him worthwhile for teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's definitely not impossible. I think it would just personally, like, if I could like make a wish and just like make it happen, I would, because I think it would probably pay off in a super beneficial way. But because I don't have a lamp and I don't know the genie from Aladdin, then I can't just make that happen.
The Will Smith or the Robin Williams version?
Oh, the Robin Williams, of course. Okay. No, not a knock against Will Smith, but come on.
Yeah.
It's Robin Williams. Like, come on.
Robin Williams as the genie doing his Jack Nicholson impression.
Sure. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things going back to that movie now.
Yeah. So like, I personally like this idea, but realistically, I think there's a few just flaws with it and why it wouldn't be executed. And the number one reason, I think, is that there is enough forwards in the NHL that are overpaid and don't play enough defense as it is. We don't need to take another overpaid player and try and make him play defense as a forward, because like realistically, you still have to play defense as a forward. And John Klingberg, with his point production over his career, yes, he's a defenseman, but I don't think he's going to become a forwards and all of a sudden double his point totals. I still don't think he'll be able to outscore his defensive liability, even as like a winger.
Maybe not him specifically putting the puck in the net, but just giving him the more freedom, I guess, to just focus on the offensive side. And because we know the guy can pass.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hearing like, if he's a wing, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to be
if he's
sound
a winger,
like I'm putting words in your mouth, but like what I'm kind of hearing is like, you're saying if he becomes a forward, you can kind of look past how badly his defense is, or like give him a pass for how bad his defense is. Exactly. Because it's like, oh, he's a winger. Like that's not his job. Like we can blame the defenseman.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I didn't want to be like putting words in your mouth, but that's kind of what I was hearing.
That is pretty much the idea, right? So because you look at him and you go, oh, he's a defenseman. Let's take a look at his defensive number. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Like, whereas, you take a look at a guy like JT Miller in Vancouver, you go, yeah, he sucks defensively. And that's definitely a hindering point.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy puts up points.
Yeah. The thing too,
that kind of helps.
Yeah, this kind of leads into my second point as well. JT Miller is a top 6 forward. You move John Klingberg to be a forward, at least not like right away. I don't see him being a top 6 forward. I see him like probably being like middle 6, like third line. In the case of injuries, he can jump up to the second line, but really he's more of that power play specialist still, but he plays mostly on the third line and just grinds out shifts sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a drastic change for sure, but we've seen guys, have to adapt their games to fill different roles, especially going like later into their careers. And like, it's not that like John Klingberg is like super old. I think he's 31, 32 maybe.
He's 30. I looked it up in the break. Yeah, he's 30. I don't know when he turns 31, but I guess August 14th. So
so he'll turn 31 in the off season. So like he's like there's something he has to do something especially to make himself seem worthwhile, because what he was known for, it's not happening.
Yeah. No,
right.
For sure.
So like I said, like that's a drastic change compared to what some guys have had to do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I just to eliminate that, like you said, to eliminate lessen the liability on him defensively.
Yeah.
It's just an idea I had.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think
especially if you're a Ducks team, I was gonna say, especially if you're a Ducks team next year, like if they were to keep him around, right? That's looking to fill your offense a little bit. And you say to Klingberg as well, he's probably not going to like the money value, but you could go like, hey, we'll give you 2 years at 4 because this is what we want to try for you. Like we have this plan for you here, and we want to see if it works and try to work with you as well to make your career longer. Because if it's getting to the point that Anaheim's, that he's returning to Anaheim, nobody else is talking to him still.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah.
So it's either you can go with this idea and make less money than you're probably hoping for, but this might extend your career.
Yeah.
Or you can try to go play in Europe.
Yeah, which I guess he is European, Swedish.
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah.
Gothenburg. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, he's not that American-born players don't go play in Europe, but they're a little bit less willing to go and do that. Whereas European-born players are like, well, my NHL career is over. I'll just go light up the European leagues. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They're like, that's where I want to be anyways. That's where I spend my off season. So like, see y'all later.
Yeah.
But I mean, this year, if he gets traded, and it's always kind of been the case that Anaheim's going to retain 50% of the salary because they can do it. They can get higher value, like a higher return.
Yeah, it's just for this season anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The issue is I don't see any team saying, okay, we're willing to give up assets for John Klingberg at $3.5 million and try him as a forward. Like that's too risky.
No. I'm not saying that if like a team were to trade for him that they start that right away.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying going into next season.
Yeah.
So it's either like, Anaheim doesn't trade him and they're still kind of looking to keep him around.
Yeah.
He gets traded and signs like an extension with that team, or he goes back to the free agent market.
Okay.
Yeah, this is more looking next season.
Okay, gotcha.
At this point of the season, no, you're not changing that up.
Okay, it's makes sense. Yeah, because I was also going to say
sorry,
I don't think that. No, that's good. Like I knew you were talking next season as well, but I thought you meant literally game 58, play him as a forward. Let's see what happens, kind of thing, or trade him as a forward. Yeah.
On the Ducks, go for it. What do you have to lose, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, yeah. What do you have to lose? But also our defensive depth this season isn't great enough to just take out another defenseman. Like we're already hurting pretty bad on defense with Drysdale presumably out for the rest of the season. Vakanainen, I think he's still out.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And potentially out for the rest of the season because obviously something's been bugging him all year, and it's probably best at this point to just leave him out. And Fowler, there's been rumors of him being gone. Shattenkirk is, Kevin Shattenkirk. And then Beaulieu, White, and Benoit. I'm sorry, I don't trust a defense of Fowler, Shattenkirk, Kulikov. Oh, I forgot about him. Beaulieu, White, and Benoit. That is literally a top defenseman and then
Kulikov
3, 6, 7 defensemen. Who, sorry?
Kulikov.
Yeah, he's done at the end of the season or could be traded at the deadline as well. So you take Klingberg out now, we have a number 1 defenseman in Cam Fowler and then 3 7th playing positions 2 to 6.
For this season though, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
But nobody tanks. So why would you do that?
Because it's what we've been talking about. Players and coaches don't tank. GMs.
And players and coaches make the decision about who plays where in the lineup. Yeah. Which is why I don't think it's happening this season. Next season, yes, absolutely. But for this season, we're at least seeing John Klingberg as a defenseman. But as you said, you were talking more for next season anyway, so my point's kind of moved.
Yeah.
But,
that is what I was thinking. It would be a this season thing if he stays, if he's not traded by the deadline.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, Anaheim, Columbus, depending on how barren it gets in Chicago at this deadline and offseason. Well, they still have Domi and Kane on their roster, so like it can get a lot more barren. Honestly, and Taves too.
Okay, well, we know Taves isn't going anywhere now.
Yeah,
at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and honestly, this is just purely my opinion. I don't think Kane goes anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think any teams can make it happen unless we see just a wild blockbuster trade with multiple teams retaining salary and like I don't see any team doing that.
One of them.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd be shocked if we weren't. So,
but I don't know. Yeah, Domi's been serviceable to a lot of different teams.
Yeah,
like he's a guy that I could see going.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially being a UFA. So
yeah, and so if that happens, then I think Anaheim, Columbus, and Chicago are the only three teams that would be willing to sign John Klingberg as a forward. Like going to him in the offseason and saying, this is what we want to give you, 2 years by $4 million. Like you said, we'll just take that. Yeah. But you're playing as a forward. Is that okay with you? Like, I think any other team is not going to be willing to do that, or they'll already have their top 6, maybe even top 9 figured out. So it would be, okay, Klingberg, we can give you 1 year, $1 million to play 4th line right wing just to see what happens. Like, and he's going to say no to that, I think, unless it's like literally September, whenever training camp starts. We'll say September 1st. Then maybe he would sign that if like that's the only offer he got. But the other 3 teams, Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago, might be willing to pay more with a little bit more term to test that out.
Yeah, not fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
I do agree with you as well. So I think Anaheim, if they tried that, I would be not mad. And if it pays off, Verbeek looks like a bloody genius.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I see we got some other people joining into the chat here. Lauren saying, hi, Nathan Carter with a quack quack. And Ronnie Lauren with a quack quack, I'm back. Dr. Seuss here. Back, yeah. My brain read that, but my mouth didn't say that. So. Quack, quack, back at you, Lauren. And Ronnie reminding everyone to hit that like button.
Yeah.
As well.
And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet.
Yeah. For other news here, not that that's news, it's more speculation, but for some news.
It was more just tonight.
Yeah. No. If anyone listening to this live or afterwards has any thoughts on that as well, then feel free to write it in the comments, DM us, whatever floats your boat. Send us a letter. I mean, I guess we don't have anywhere to send a letter to, but emails, quackreportpod.thpn@gmail.com. Yeah. Anything like that.
I mean, you can
rent one of those planes to like write it in the sky.
Yeah. Like you can just DM me on Twitter as well and be like, the fuck are you like, what are you high on?
Yeah. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Who's your dealer and where can I get some of that to come up with batshit ideas like Klingberg as a forward?
Why are you not sharing?
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of John Klingberg, as part of our injury update here. What's up?
Sharpies are dangerous.
Yeah, John Klingberg is out day to day with a lower body injury, which substantially hurts his potential for getting traded, unless it's, really just day to day and like, oh yeah, he'll be back in a couple games or next week or very shortly after the deadline. But yeah, it's interesting to see what happens there. So, and then Adam Henrique also out with a lower body injury. I mean, rumors about him being traded as well, so that also kind of hurts that. But he for sure has been confirmed to not play Thursday against Washington per Lisa Dillman. So to be seen if he will play against was it Carolina on Saturday?
Yeah, Carolina on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where we're at with recent injuries. And then a little bit more discussion here on 32 Thoughts, the blog. Elliot Friedman had a blurb about the Ducks, and he mentioned John Klingberg as the obvious UFA target, which not shocking, not super profound. But he also threw in some other names, including the goalies like Stallars, again, kind of obvious. John Gibson, a little bit less obvious, but it was also more of in a speculative way of, teams could be interested. Gibson, he wouldn't be mad about going somewhere that wins. And,
which is something that we talked about last week with Friedman being on one of the Duck Stream podcasts.
That's right.
Which one was it?
Light the Lamp? Yeah. So yeah, there's that possibility, but nothing really set in stone yet. Adam Henrique, his name's been thrown around. He said in a quote here, issue is who can take him without asking the Ducks to retain, because Anaheim will demand a premium for that. Not including this season, Adam Henrique still has one more year at a $5.825 million cap hit with a 10-team no trade list. So a little bit trickier to move. And I mean, I don't think the Ducks will have an issue with retaining salary for next year, but he is right in that we'll have to ask a premium for that.
That's going to be like multiple. That's going to be like at least a first and a second kind of thing.
Oh, for sure. For a year and a half of Adam Henrique at half of 5.825. What's that? 2.7? No, I don't know.
Something like that.
Whatever number, 2.5 less than 3.
I'll trust on it as I pull out the calculator to actually give a proper number.
Yeah, fair. I don't know. It's what 2 points. I think it's around 2.7 or 2.6. 2.6.
2.9.
Went the wrong way. Oh well. Oh yeah, that makes sense. 2.9. Yeah. So it's not bad considering on most teams that would most teams that would trade for him, he would probably be a middle six center at worst.
Yeah, that'd be a tremendous value for whatever team gets him. It's just what you're giving up in return.
Yeah, so I think a first round pick is a starter for that. Second round, potentially, depending on what comes back the other way. Yeah. So
and Anaheim's probably asking for a first round pick this season, and that's where teams, as they should be, are being a little bit more stingy on it because this is such a deep draft, right? Like even if you're not going to be drafting in the top 5, you're going to be looking good. Like
all the middle teams aren't wanting to give up a first round for a push. You're really only giving up a first round this year if you're like all in for the cup.
This is the year.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only teams that are really doing it. Otherwise, it's I would give up a second or multiple seconds or a first next year, like prospects, literally anything else. So, so yeah, those are kind of the less exciting names. The one I think is most interesting is Max Comtois, who's an RFA at the end of this season and making just over $2 million at 24 years old. Obviously, he's struggled a lot in Anaheim. He's kind of dealt with injuries as well, but I think the
last couple of seasons been really struggling. So like ever since, what was that, 2 seasons ago where you led the team in points?
Yeah, not last season, but season before. Yeah.
Like ever since that season, it's been tough for him. And like for last year, it sounded like, he didn't come to camp in the greatest of shape. This year came back a lot better, but I do remember that there were comments from Dallas Eakins as well. And this is also keeping in mind that Dallas Eakins' contract is up after this season. And we're assuming, and a lot of people are hoping, that this is, the end of it for Dallas Eakins in
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly. But I know I do remember comments of from Dallas Eakins of like Max Comtois' work ethic kind of being problematic. So it might just be there are players that just need a change of scenery sometimes. That might be it for Max Comtois as well. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate to see kind of, how it went, right? He was a middle second round pick, 50th overall in 2017. That like definitely looked promising. He was the captain for Team Canada at what was it, 2018 World Juniors, 2019 World Juniors.
5 years ago, or I think so
4 or 5 years. Yeah, so
yeah,
like definitely a promising player for sure. It's just not working out as much here. So
yeah, exactly. But this is kind of the first time I've heard his name like from like an insider, like a media member, not just random people on Twitter saying, "Oh, we should trade for Comtois," or we should trade Comtois away. Like this is the first time I've actually heard it as like a possibility from a legit source. So I think
just like here's a name for you kind of thing. So
and with how the salary cap is this season, I think yes, Max Comtois has struggled, but for a team that's just looking to add a little bit of depth at very low risk, I think Max Comtois is a sweet buy. So like a team like Tampa Bay, where like they always just add like that random, not like random, but like they just add a third liner or like the bottom
and
6
that
guy
pushes them kind of yeah.
So like Tampa Bay could easily afford, well, they could afford 2 million. They could make 2 million work for Max Comtois, but you just throw in a little bit something extra, like just probably like an additional conditional 6th round pick or something like that. Yeah. That if Comtois plays like 5 games in the playoffs or something like that, 10 games, then Anaheim like just for Anaheim to retain half, just something small like that. Like you could easily get Anaheim to retain $1 million of that, so that it's essentially nothing against your cap. So I definitely see a team like Colorado or like Tampa Bay making that kind of move. Toronto, before they made the O'Reilly-Achari deal, I don't think they need to do that now with Achari coming in, but like
I know there is still
those
some
kind of teams.
Yeah, there is still some thoughts around Toronto that they could be looking for one more forward still.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised at that.
You never know.
They wouldn't be like the front runner to make a push for a guy.
Yeah, no, I
don't think so.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember. Comtois wasn't like hurt just a few weeks ago, right? Not that I can recall. So that wouldn't mean that he sat.
He might have been out with an illness.
I just don't recall his name there as much as I can, because there was a break that he has here in his last 5 games, which like before the Florida game, the last one he had played was that game against Pittsburgh on the 10th. And in that time, the Ducks lost 7-2 to Vegas, 7-3 to Buffalo, 6-3 to LA.
Huh.
So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was injured, but I don't think he was a healthy scratch either. What's this from? February 15th, Max Comtois will draw back. This is from Daily Faceoff. Comtois will draw back into the Ducks lineup Wednesday versus Buffalo. Comtois was a healthy scratch for the Ducks previous game, but will draw back in. Yeah. So yeah, he was just a healthy scratch on the Sunday, and then.
So he must have been though for Buffalo though, because they said he was going to draw in, and he didn't play that game. Nor did he play against the Kings. So I'm fairly certain that he's been healthy scratch for the last 3.
He didn't play the 15th against Buffalo? No. Or 16th or whenever the Wednesday was? No.
No, against Buffalo. Oh, wow. He didn't play that game either. Like it's the 10th against Pittsburgh and then the 20th against Florida.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah. Explains why he hasn't done a whole lot in recent memory, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking a look here at the NHL website. Yep, scratch is Max Comtois for that game against Buffalo. Yeah, so healthy scratch.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think he could be an interesting piece. Maybe even as part of like a package, like, oh, here, take Klingberg and Comtois, or Stellars and Comtois, or even Henrique and Comtois, like something like that. I don't know if any team would be looking just at him, but
yeah, probably wouldn't be a just him. But I feel like if you, I don't know, because it like my feeling is, you go for high end prospects and draft picks, right? But at the same time, you do have to have to try to ice something competitive next season.
Yeah.
If you do try to go for a bigger fish, we'll say, in terms of a player.
The Ducks going for a bigger fish, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like something with a bit more term, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of an odd mix, I guess. Like, why would somebody want to pick up Comtois for something bigger like that? But the Sharks, the Ducks do have 3 second-round picks this year. Their own, Boston's, and St. Louis, if I remember right. No, Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and 2 in the 3rd round as well in their own and Minnesota's. So they have some picks that they could play around with theoretically. That's not
true.
First round, depending on what Pat Verbeek wants to do.
Yeah.
So, I would assume that you're stockpiling a couple draft picks kind of thing, but at the same time, you're like, yes, drafting and developing is fantastic, and it's great to see, and we're seeing that on the ice right now, even with with Trevor Zegras and Troy Terry and that kind of thing, right? But at the same time, you do have to try to get some guys in here, to play a la what Klingberg should have been, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So,
okay, what about something like this? Like just as an idea, I'm just kind of coming up with this off the top of my head. Would you, and I'm asking you more so because I know you're more able to look at things a little more objectively, and without bias because you're a ref. Would you trade Max Comtois, a 2nd round pick, and
for what year? And which pick in particular? Because that does matter.
Yeah, just one of the Boston or Colorado picks from this year, one of the 2nd rounders. Or, well, actually, no, I guess the draft doesn't snake for the 2nd round, so it would be it would be a later 2nd round pick. But yeah, I don't know, one of them, plus Max Comtois, and I don't know, like a depth forward or a depth defenseman like Beaulieu or Carrick or something, or Jones, like one of those bottom 6 guys. So those 3 pieces for Gavrikov out of Columbus, and if so, or if not, who do you think says no to a deal like that? I know the ask for Gavrikov has been a 1st, but come on, let's be realistic. No one's paying a 1st for Gavrikov. It's going to be a 2nd. But if you're throwing in a piece like Max Comtois, who's, probably a lot more valuable than some of the other pieces you might get, plus an extra, NHL forward / AHL starter, I think I think that's relatively fair. I don't know. You might need another pick in there, but
I could consider it, except for the fact that Gavrikov is a UFA this summer.
So you would have to talk to him to be signed. Like he'd have to be willing to sign an extension. Yeah.
Yeah,
let's assume that happens. Let's assume that he's willing to sign for 8 years at some sort of reasonable price. So I won't even say 8 years, just some sort of reasonable extension.
He's played 52 games, 10 points. He's a
defensive defenseman. Like absolutely defensive defenseman.
Which I guess is something you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely does hinder on, does he want to re-sign in? Is he trying to escape one dumpster fire to end up in another one for the next few years?
Yeah.
Is kind of the issue there, I think.
I don't think Gavrikov has too much pull though, because he's like young in the NHL. So it's more just
27.
Oh shit, yeah.
It's enough.
Damn, yeah, okay. That's fair. He's in his 5th year? Jeez. Since 18, that's nuts, man. I had no idea. I guess he didn't play in 18-19. Well, he played 2 games in the playoffs, but okay, so 4th full NHL season. Huh, wow. Yeah, I really don't pay too much attention to the Eastern teams, but he's
it's
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more so a case of Columbus wanting to just get assets for him.
A first round pick for $2.8 million guy right now. Yikes.
Yeah. I don't know. I personally like Gavrikov, and this team is pretty soft and squishy, and we've been missing that since Manson left. And I see Gavrikov as maybe not quite to the same leadership extent, but then again, I don't really know much about Gavrikov off the ice, so who's to say? But I don't know. He's that big physical defensive presence, and I think he could be useful for the Ducks down the road. I think you signed him for like 5-6 years, kind of like you did with Strome, as like, yeah, he's going to be beneficial now, like keeping this team somewhat competitive, and then he like is actually like very, very useful when you hope to contend. So,
okay, I got an answer for you.
Okay,
if I'm a playoff team, sure, because we're not though. Let somebody else pay that price. If he's available in free agency, then you don't have to give up anything for him.
That's fair. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, fair enough, I guess. Yeah.
Because the asking price might be too high that he doesn't go.
And then he walks in free agency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
So.
Because he's a UFA. Yes, he will be.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, fair point. So. Okay. Oh, yeah, that answers my question.
I like the idea otherwise. Like for a playoff contender, I don't mind that idea.
Yeah.
But as like where the Ducks stand right now specifically, yeah, no, not. You just wait around for free agency. Give them some money. Okay. You're not giving up anything else. So
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I think let's move on to upcoming games, unless you had anything else you wanted to mention here.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, we kind of covered everything there. Yeah, Henrique and Gibson are going to be the interesting ones. Like, I don't think either guy is going to move. At the same time, though, especially because of Dostal.
Mm-hmm.
Ducks fans should be ready to at least move Stolarz.
Oh,
at least not
sure,
have him on the team anymore.
But a goalie should move at the deadline. One of them needs to go at the deadline. I don't care who. It just has to be one of them.
Yeah, just in case, because you never know if like a team might go, "Hey, we're not as confident in our goaltending." But we know John Gibson can do good things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for it, kind of thing, and we'll deal with next season plus after the fact.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like they don't have man, this is gonna sound like a Leafs podcast, but at the same time, you're down Matt Murray currently.
Mm-hmm.
Samsonov has been playing good, but do you want to rely purely on Samsonov if Murray's not coming back? Because I'm not sure how long he's out for.
You're essentially one tweaked groin away in Samsonov from wasting your entire season.
Yeah, you're then down to Joseph Woll, I think, is who they have up right now.
Yeah, which, I mean, rookie goaltenders can win the cup. We've seen that before.
Yeah,
but...
and he was like a Dostal, where he's been putting up incredible numbers in, well, I guess in Toronto, but with the Marlies there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so it's not impossible. But if you're Dubas and you're trying to save your job and your career, I'm not putting all of my eggs in one goaltender's basket.
I feel like you can't anymore because they did that already with Freddie Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So and then they got lucky that Jack Campbell worked out, I think.
Oh yeah,
because he wasn't a starter at that point by any means.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Stolarz or Gibson, one of them is going at the deadline. I just don't know who. Because it realistically could be either one, so it'll be interesting.
More than likely, it'll be Stolarz because that's the guy that
it's the easier guy to move.
Makes sense, but just in case because like by the sounds of what Freeman's saying, like there has been effort made and teams have been asking.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Right? If the right deal comes up, or the
issue there is
I don't want to like the right goalie goes down, I guess. Like if it's like a starting goalie and a like say what's his name, Shesterkin in New York, then I think you're trading for Gibson, because you're like, oh, holy shit, we just traded for Tarasenko in an effort to win the cup this year.
And now we're down.
And now our Vezina winning goaltender is gone.
Yeah.
We need somebody. Like, what do you want for Gibson? Name your price and we'll pay it. Like, that's like, if a guy like that goes down, then it happens. But otherwise, it probably not. So,
yeah, exactly. Taking a look here from the 18th on Sportsnet. Matt Murray got put onto long-term injury reserve.
Yeah, he's not coming back this season.
Possibly not. And I know they were talking about on the Steve Dangle podcast of like, not that like there's any speculation of him like never returning, but almost the thing of like, dude, you've been hurt so many times kind of thing. Like, do you want to just get placed on Robita Island and just, make your money? Like, we'll still give you your money kind of thing, but like just sit out. So,
yeah. Before we move on to upcoming games here, Ronnie updating us a little bit. I don't know how to feel about this, but he says, oh, damn, Connor Bedard went off, which is nice, on the Medicine Hat Tigers. Less nice tonight for 6 points. Oof.
As somebody hoping that the Ducks can get Bedard, I like seeing that, because Regina and Medicine Hat, I know for the WHL, were they're fighting for that last playoff spot there as well.
Oh, true. Yeah.
From a hometown pride Tigers fan side of it, that sucks.
yeah, a little bit. But yeah, thanks for the update, Ronnie. Getting into upcoming games. We've got one coming up on Thursday against the Washington Capitals. Game 3 of 4 on this Eastern Conference road trip. 4 p.m. Pacific time start. Have we played? No, we have not played Washington yet this season.
But we're going to play them pretty quickly again. So we will
also next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Which we did decide this next week.
I don't know. Did we? I don't remember.
I think we did.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing a watch along as well for Wednesday the 1st. So you'll get to watch the second game against Washington with us. So on the THPN YouTube channel. So this will be the first game though that we're going to play against them within a week. Point leader right now is Alex Ovechkin, same with goals, but he is still out currently, I think, after the passing of his father.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah.
I think he's still out. I don't remember. I feel like I heard something about, him coming back right away, but either way, that's another team that, is trying to get that last wild card position as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently sitting in 5th in wild card contention at 62 points, but one game in hand on Florida and only 2 points back. So yeah, the East is tight right now, to say the least. Washington at 62 points, Detroit at 62 points, Pittsburgh at 63 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and even throw in the Sabres and the Senators there at 60 and 58 points apiece. Like it's the East is definitely, you're going to want to pay attention to that wild card race for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the West as well, like they're both very similar, but yeah, the East is a lot like you said earlier, it's way tighter than it was last year, where the teams were decided like basically by the All-Star break or before.
Yeah, exactly.
So just looking at Yahoo Fantasy Sports, which gets their updates from RotoWire. It says Alex Ovechkin could be available on Thursday. This was as of yesterday evening. It just says could be back as soon as Thursday's game versus the Ducks. If not, he's an option for Saturday. So sounds like he's coming back soon, but they're also giving him as much time as he needs, rightfully so.
They've definitely hurt without him. That's for sure. 3-7-0 in their last 10 and are currently on a 5-game losing streak.
I think that's about as long as Ovechkin's been out.
So.
He's been out for 4 games, so basically that long then. Yeah. Yeah, his last game was the first loss of that stretch against San Jose, 4-1. So yeah.
They're missing Ovi, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm missing him on my fantasy team too. So
yeah. Yes, because your fantasy team is way more important than his dad.
Obviously. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, well, I guess having Ovi in the lineup or not is probably not going to change the outcome of this game, save for a goal or two. But how do you think this one is going to land?
I'm going to take a. Well, sorry. What did that report say? That he could be back, or was he looking to be back?
It just says could be. It didn't say he was looking to be back. It just said it's a possibility. So,
well, it's a game in Washington. And how are they doing in or at home? Oh, their records are pretty even actually, home and away. At home specifically this year, 14-12-3.
Okay.
And then just for curiosity's sake, the road record is 14-13-3.
Huh, okay.
Pretty damn even.
I'd say so. It doesn't get much more even than that.
Yeah. Ovi or not, I'm going to go 3-2 Washington.
Okay. Interesting.
That's be tight.
Yeah. That's lower than I'm probably going to go. I'm going to say 5-3.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think 5-3 Washington. So.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah. Just a little more high scoring.
Yeah. And then we get to Carolina on Saturday. Expect this one to be similar to the game against Tampa, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Carolina currently on a 4-game winning streak, 9-1-0 in their last 10, and their home record 26-2 on the season. I'm just going to take the Tampa game, actually. 6-1.
6-1.
Carolina.
Okay. 6-1 Carolina. It shall be.
Just throw it out there. Might as well.
Carolina is on the second half of a back-to-back. They will be host to Ottawa on the Friday.
They'll be all right.
Yeah, no, I'm not concerned. Their goal. They literally have not the three best. They have the best 3 goalie rotation.
Yeah.
The best set of 3 goalies out of any of the 32 teams, because Kachekov and Dostal I'd put on the same level, but I wouldn't put Gibson and Stolarz on the same level as Anderson and Ranta.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So
yeah. Sorry. So you said they're playing Ottawa the night before, like on Friday night?
Yeah.
Okay, can I tweak my answer then? Or my score?
Yeah, sure. 5-1. I was like, you're literally just going to take off a goal. They'll get one less goal in the third because they'll be a little bit more fatigued.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to say I don't have a lot of hope for this one. It's the end of a road trip for the Ducks. We've been we don't go through the Ducks home and away record usually. Like I should kind of have an idea, but I really don't.
Let's get into it here. The home record for the Anaheim Ducks. Oh, sorry. Just because I'm seeing it here. By the way, we have officially gone over the negative 100 goal differential plateau.
Yeah.
We are at negative 101.
I meant to say that off the top of the episode. That's something that you got to be trying to do that. Like that doesn't just happen. You've got to try.
Especially when you look at Chicago at negative 64. Which is
and
the next best,
they're the next closest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So It's something.
Columbus League is -66 as the next closest. So
okay, what can you scroll up to Boston as well, just for comparison?
Plus 92.
So they're almost at plus 100. That's stupid, man.
It's almost 200.
That's absolutely dumb
between Boston and Anaheim. I love this.
Yeah.
Jeez. Anaheim's home record 9-16-1, and then on the road 8-18-6.
So about the same.
Yeah, and they're split 3-3 on shootouts. It looks like.
Okay.
3-5-2 in their last
10. Okay. Yeah.
What do you got for us?
Sorry, I got distracted looking for a specific record. I should make my prediction first, I suppose. So apparently it doesn't matter if we're home or away.
Nope.
You know,
if we're on the road, we got more of a chance at a point.
Okay. I'm just feeling this in my soul. I'm saying 4-0 Carolina. I'm just not feeling it for the Ducks on the last game of a road trip.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Like even with Carolina on the second half of a back-to-back, it doesn't really mean anything to me. If anything, the Ducks are like, oh, we got a team on the second half of a back-to-back. They'll come out like, you know, how a team should come out for the first, and then they'll just like shit the bed for the second, as they have done kind of all season long. We haven't really talked about that. And then just kind of give up in the third. Like I just kind of think they just almost like are complacent about the game with Carolina being on the second half of a back-to-back, even though it's Carolina, and then they just don't recover. So
sorry,
and then they're like, just let me go home. So
sorry, what was your prediction again?
4-0 Carolina.
4-0. Okay, sounds good.
Not even like shocked. You're like, yeah, whatever. It could be a shutout. I guess. Yeah.
And as well, just to keep an update on the win records, or I guess lack of win records. The Anaheim Ducks are currently tied for that last spot for total wins, which was again the 1920 Detroit Red Wings COVID shortened season. But they're tied now for just total wins at 17. However, though, they are still they're still looking to take the regulation or least amount of regulation wins in a season record. Currently with 7. And just a reminder, the record is 11, set by the 13-14 Buffalo Sabres.
Wow.
So that one could still happen.
Yeah. No, it could, for sure.
The fact that we have 7 regulation wins out of 17 wins on the season.
And 57 games.
Yeah. 58 games.
58 now.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it's not good. I did just look up the worst goal differentials in a season in NHL history. Take a guess at the worst. I'll even tell you this. It was the Washington Capitals in 74-75, because I know that's not going to help you, but just
I actually thought you were going to say like what team was it, and that was the team I was going to go with. So I'm glad I got that down.
Oh, really? Like that year?
Because that's the first year that Washington was a team, right?
Yeah, I guess you might. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're probably right there.
Yeah, that was because that was a horrible team. Horrible.
Oh yes, their record was 8-67-5. Yes, that was the one then.
So I thought you were gonna say like what team was it, and that was the team I was gonna pick. However, in terms of the actual differential, oh man, it's the 70s. Okay. I'm gonna go for the wild answer here at like -200.
Even here, I'll let you here. This is your context. The 95-96 Washington Capitals in 80 games, where they had an 11-59-10 record. So the next season, their goal differential was -170.
Oof. Okay, let's go -245 then.
Okay, you got pretty close, especially on the -200.
Did I?
Yeah, -265
Holy shit.
So I honestly didn't think you were going to go into the 200s, but then you did. So
I just know that team holds so many records, like not good ones, because of that season alone.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, let's go for the egregious thing. And even then, the initial egregious guess wasn't enough.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just counting here.
What are we counting?
Okay, so StatMuse gives the top 22 worst goal differentials, which seems kind of just like an arbitrary, this is how many bars we could fit on our cool little graph thing. But I then sorted by season. So the 3 most recent out of the top 22 worst goal differentials by season. I'll just give you this as well, just to kind of show how bad the Ducks are this season. The 1999-2000 Atlanta Thrashers in 82 games had a minus 143 goal differential. They finished the season with a 14-57, 7-4 record, where they had ties and overtime losses as both counting.
Ouch.
So, yeah. And then next most recently, the Buffalo Sabres of 14-15, so the season after that abysmal regulation win.
Yeah. This is one they were trying to lose.
Yeah.
Because of a Mr. Connor McDavid.
Yeah. So not unlike Connor Bedard coming up here for the Anaheim Ducks. So the 14-15 Sabres, 82 games played, a minus 116 goal differential, 23 wins, 51 losses, and 8 overtime losses. And then the 1920 Detroit Red Wings, so 4 years ago, the COVID-shortened season, 71 games played, a minus 123 in only 71 games at with 17 wins, 49 losses, and 5 overtime losses. So not too dissimilar to the Anaheim Ducks, I guess. In a way, they finished with 39 points that season, and the Ducks are at what? Well, 41. Okay, so this team's not quite that bad in terms of points and overall wins and stuff, but a minus 123. Honestly, probably pretty good for that Red Wings team.
I just wanted the context of who the goalies were that played that season.
In Detroit?
Yeah. Jonathan Bernier.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Comrie. Jimmy Howard, and if I'm not mistaken, that was the last year of Jimmy Howard. Where, oh my God, right?
Didn't he only play like 1 game or something, or 3 games?
No. It's only he only won 2.
Oh, I was thinking of Corey Schneider. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
he had a 2-23 and 2 record. It doesn't say how many games played. Sorry, right offhand. Okay, never mind. I was about to say in 35 games. No, that was his number. And a 4.2 goals against average. Ouch. Yeah. And the other goalie, Calvin Pickard, who played in 2 games. It looks like.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was the same, I remember talking about that because that was the same season that we started this show.
Yeah, I do too. So yeah, I mean, the Ducks are bad. They're not. I mean, I guess it's possible they make it into the top 20 in worst goal differentials, but I mean, I don't think they're going to hit the minus 265. Even the next couple teams, 34 Senators and the 92-93 Sharks, both at minus 196. I don't even think they get that low, but
yeah, I mean, it's still not going to be great. It's taken 58 games to get to negative 101. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be that bad, but you never know. Well, negative 125 is definitely reasonable, I would say.
Yeah. Sorry, we're at negative 101 over 58 games times 82. I mean, we're on pace for minus 143.
Are we? Jesus Christ. Okay.
So that ties us with the 99-2000 Atlanta Thrashers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Tied for 14th. So yeah, not great anyways, but
jeez.
Yeah. All right. A couple more things here to wrap up the episode. A Gulls update, which... Wow, that is a lot longer than I thought it was, but I love it. Thank you for sending that over to me.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Gulls update here. I'm just gonna burn through it quick because we do also have what's quacking, and I would have otherwise just said like, okay, no, we'll leave it, but I think I alluded to it earlier, so I feel like we should do it.
We kind of have to, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we'll do it. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so Gulls update here. Played 3 games over the last week. On the 18th there, they lost 4-3 in overtime to the Ontario Reign, picking up their first overtime loss of the season.
Oh.
There's no longer a 0 there under OPL for the San Diego Gulls. They then lost the next night 7-4 to the Bakersfield Condors. They would play the Condors again 2 nights later and lose 3-1 to them in Bakersfield. Coming up this week, we got Coachella Valley Firebirds on Friday there, the Ontario Reign on Sunday, and next Wednesday, when all of you people that are watching and listening to us are going to hang out with us to watch the Capitals game on the THPN YouTube channel. The San Diego Gulls will be playing the Henderson Silver Knights in San Diego there. So, yeah, the team still obviously sits 10th in the Pacific Division with a 14-37-1 record. Your top 5 players get a tie for 5th spot with Pavel Regenda, our boy, and Glenn Godden at 22 points apiece. Michael Del Zotto at 29 holds the 4th spot with 19 points in 24 games with the Gulls specifically. Bo Grew has 29 points as well, so I guess Del Zotto and Grew are tied for 3rd. Nicholas Brouillard has 32, and Rocco Grimaldi still leading the way at 50 points in 51 games played. Your goalies are currently right now Ole Eriksson Ek, who's now played in 15 games, has a 5.13 goals against average and an 844 save percentage. And then the newcomer, Gage Alexander, who has now played in 3 games, has a 264 goals against and an 897 save percentage.
Nice. Crushed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. We just had a question from Amon here asking what happened to Braden Tracy and Jacob Perreault. Thought they were highly touted prospects. Yeah, I'm just looking up how old they are. So Tracy is 21, will be 22 in May. So still pretty young. And I think Jacob Perreault's around the same age. I believe they were same draft year.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, they'll just be, it's going to, be just a little bit longer, I think, with them especially.
He's 20, sorry. Perreault is 20, so a year younger.
Yeah. And in fairness as well, just because I only grabbed for like the top 5, Braden Tracy is sitting in that 7th spot, just below Pavel Regenda at 21 points. And Jacob Perreault is at 16 points. So like both of those guys are in the top 10 in terms of points. But at the same time, 10th spot is Drew Hellison with 14 points on the back end. So
and this is for sure.
The team as a whole is struggling as well.
Oh, like, yeah, for sure.
The system is struggling right now to produce.
Yeah, this is for sure Perreault's first professional season. Like his ELC is just kicked in for this year. Like he signed it when he was 18, but it's like continued to slide until this season. Whereas Braden Tracy, he's in the 2nd year of his ELC, but I think
this is
okay. I know he did play 55 games last season.
Yeah.
And he played 12, I guess, in the season before. So enough, I guess. But really, I'd consider this kind of his 2nd full professional season. So they're still young. Like they were Tracy late 1st, and then Perreault, I believe, was also a late 1st.
Yeah, and Tracy did look decent last year as well, 31 points in 55 games last season. So
yeah, sophomore slumps you could chalk this up to. But yeah, they are still young, and really outside of the top 10, a lot of guys don't, like a lot of those late 1st round, 2nd round picks don't break into the league until they're
like
close to mid 20s. Like if you're lucky, maybe 23 or 24, but generally it's closer to 25. So
yeah, this will be the closest case to like the 2003 draft where Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaff got there a lot sooner than guys usually do.
Yeah.
This would probably be the draft that you might see it closer to that compared to any other year. So
yeah, exactly. So
for like later first round guys, at least.
Yeah. The drop off in the second half of the first round is just like so drastic. So
usually,
yeah, generally in most normal years. So even though it's like, oh, this guy was a first round pick, what happened? It's they're just kind of following the normal development curve. So and then as Amon, who you are someone who listens to podcasts, like we just like talk about them a lot more. So then you expect them to be like the Mason McTavishes and stuff like that. And I'm guilty for it too. It's not just
and every team thinks of their prospects a lot more highly than anybody else does.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? So like unless it's somebody like a Bedard, or I guess that's maybe even on the far side of it. Like unless they're just like generally highly touted, right? More than likely you're the fandom and those teams in particular are thinking about them a little higher than anybody else does. So.
Yeah, for sure. So, Mon says they have good upside. Yeah, absolutely. They do. Yeah. And they're still young. So, I mean, if in a few years we're still not like talking about them like we are Rocco Grimaldi, who's lighting up the the AHL right now, then okay. Yeah, maybe it'll be time to write them off. But, you kind of never know. So look at Tage Thompson as an example. He's 25 this season, and like he just popped off, but he's been around for a few seasons.
That's a realistic expectation that I think more teams and fans need to have. On young guys. Like not everybody's going to be an 18 or a 19-year-old just popping off in the NHL right away. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, good question, because I like we always talk about the Gulls, but we sometimes forget to talk about like some of the prospects that we would expect to make the NHL. We kind of just talk about the guys who are doing well in the AHL, but they might just be, career NHLers like Nicholas Brouillard. So
yeah, exactly.
Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. I guess let's get to what's quacking here to wrap up the episode.
So we're going to do a bit of a Star Wars quiz. So I came across a video by at the Matty O Net on TikTok here. I got like a second into it before I stopped it because I wanted to use this for the show tonight, and I grabbed a couple others as well. So I think he'll explain it in one of the videos, but basically he's going to give both Carter and I, and you as well watching, listening, a 1-second clip of a Star Wars movie. And for Carter and I specifically, we're going to write down what our answer is. And I had 6 here, but just looking at the time, like we're going to be well over what we normally do anyway. So I'm going to cut it down to 3 videos.
Okay.
So
cool. We'll do 4 I was going to say 4 if we need a tiebreaker, but I guess we could have a tie because we could both get it wrong or both get it right. So
yeah,
we'll do at least 3, and if we need tiebreakers, we have 4, 5, and 6 for a backup. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to write out 1, 2, and 3 here on keypad.
So for everyone playing along, usually when we do these quizzes, we say, the chat can go off, but we won't look at it because this is so quick, bang, bang. We're only getting a second. Feel free to just like put the answer right into your chat because we're going to be writing and then kind of sharing at the same time. So
and
you guys can play along as well. So
even just in case, not that I need the help.
Yeah, I might.
But I did turn off the comments for myself at least, just in case. So all right. Okay. I got my sticky pad ready with the 1, 2, and 3.
Cool. Me as well. Quick ground rules before we get started though. Yes. By Star Wars movie, and maybe you don't even know the answer, is this episodes 1 through 9, or like the spin-offs are they in there as well?
I'm assuming it's 1 through 9. I'm assuming.
Okay.
So,
I guess we'll find out.
Based off of movies, it could be, what was that, like Rogue One and Solo would be in there
or the Clone Wars movie, technically.
Yeah, I guess technically, hey.
The Christmas special.
Have you ever watched it, by the way? Have you ever watched that?
I don't No, I don't think I have. I watched the Lego. I watched the Lego Star Wars holiday special.
I watched like the original holiday special. I found it on YouTube. I watched it one time just to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something, to say the least. The best thing to come out of that, honestly, is like that at the time the first look at Boba Fett.
Yeah.
That is literally the best thing to come out of that. So, all right. So, and I'll keep a tally here as well of how many we get right.
Sure.
So, all right. So I will pull up the first one here. And like I said, he'll explain the rules or whatever and give us the clip. So, and do you want one repeat if we want it? Or do you just want to you see it and that's it? I feel like just see it and that's it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. All right. So I will pull up the first video here. There it is. Yeah, we'll go with this one here.
Okay.
I'm picking these randomly as well. So
okay.
And like I said, I haven't seen any of these. There's a playlist that he had on his TikTok page, and I just grabbed a bunch of them. So I haven't seen any of these. So here we go.
Star Wars movie from just this 3-second clip. That's right, this is Guess the Movie.
Oh, 3 seconds, I guess, for this one.
If you're new here, I do this Guess the Movie series with mainly Marvel movies.
Can I skip forward a bit? Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go.
So let me know in the comments what Star Wars movie is this.
Got it already.
Fuck, that's it?
That's it. I guess if you're listening for that clip, if you're just listening and you happen to get what movie that is, like, let us know, like, be genuine about it, but I will definitely be impressed.
Yeah. I'm going to put the scene I'm thinking of too, just so that, just because I think I know, but,
and, I guess, do I have to go into the comments of each video to confirm our answer?
I mean, unless you're like 100% confident.
This one in particular, I am.
Okay, then I will just take your word as gospel here. But
okay, and I can go back in and like find, like, I can like grab a screen cap and more than likely, let's be honest, tell you what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, first we got Ronnie saying, "I have a bad feeling about this." Is that a reference to the scene?
That's a reference to the entire saga, dude. Come on.
Well, no, I know, but like specifically, I wasn't sure if they said it in this scene specifically. Yeah.
No, not when. Oh, okay, hold on a second. That's actually trivia. When did they say it in that movie?
So evidently not in this scene. If
no.
So Ronnie, if that's your answer, unfortunately not.
I know where they say it. I just don't know what exact scene. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, well let's show our answers here. So
yeah. All right. So I got Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. I also I said episode 5. So Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then I also wrote Solo getting frozen. So like that's like the area that Han Solo gets like not like frozen, but like frozen in carbonite. Is that the kind of where that happens?
So that's here. Let's pull it up here.
Like, is that the same room? I guess.
No. So that would actually be down lower.
Yeah. But it's like kind of the
that
same
area. Yeah. So
yeah.
That's during Luke and Vader's fight.
Yeah. No, I'm very impressed with myself there. Then.
Impressive. Most impressive. As Vader says to Luke in that fight.
Yeah.
This is really just showing how nerdy I am, or how many times I've seen these movies in particular.
Yeah. Honestly, you know how I knew this?
How?
It's not from the movie. It's from the Lego Star Wars video game.
That's fantastic.
I don't know why, but I played this particular chapter like a lot as a kid. Like that specific part of episode 5. So I just like recognized the area, and that's how I knew that it was the kind of the area where Solo got frozen. So
I love it. All right, so I'm going to see if I can skip ahead here for this next one. And okay, I got it here. So all right, here is the next one. Yep, got it already.
Okay. That was just a single second. But like, okay, that's
that one was literally a second.
Yeah, and come on, that's there's like, yeah, it's just there's only one possible answer. And again, I watched this movie a lot as a kid, but
all right, we will here. I'll pull just to the yeah. There we go.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. What do you got, Carter?
I got episode 1.
A Phantom Menace. There we go.
Yeah.
Both got it. All right, so we each got.
I mean,
2.
The double lightsaber very much gives it away.
Yeah, good old Maul.
Yeah.
Also one of the greatest pieces of
Cinema
music scoring.
Oh yeah.
In the history of music scoring with Duel of the Fates.
Oh, so good.
If you haven't yet, like if you really want to dive deep, there is I forget where it was, like what it was a part of exactly, but I'm sure you could just find the clip on YouTube. It's Dave Filoni like doing a deep dive onto that fight in particular of Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, like the name of like Duel of the Fates and everything like that. Like he, like to give you the Cole's Notes version of it or whatever it is, it's basically, like if Qui-Gon is victorious, right, then Anakin will be, raised one way that would probably be the better for him.
Yeah.
And if, Qui-Gon in particular loses, which spoiler alert for a movie that came out in 1999, he does, it's going to lead him there's like the fate is, of him becoming Darth Vader for Anakin. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like that's like
that
that's
makes
like
sense. That's pretty cool.
But
yeah.
like Dave Filoni, who was like the director for a lot of the Clone Wars, does like a brilliant like deep dive into all of it. Like it's I love listening to that guy talk Star Wars in particular. So
yeah.
But all right, so I will pull up I guess our last one here.
Yeah, unless we both get it, then we have to do a tiebreaker. But
yeah,
well, we don't have to, but I want to because I'm competitive.
Fair enough. All right, here we go. I'll put it back just a second before as well.
Okay.
Okay, I can't do that for myself. I was trying to put a full screen for me, but I can't do it and add it to the stream. So, all right, here we go.
Was it?
Yeah, I think I
was that only a very short clip? Because as soon as you put it up, it started for me. So,
yeah. Do you want me to pull it up one more time?
Yeah, sure. Just because it was kind of a lot all at once. So.
Okay. This one I might have to go and just double check the answer, but I'm fairly certain I know when this one or what this one was.
Okay. Oh, okay. That one was just like very quick. Okay.
Yeah. So here, I'm just going to pull up the screen grab there. I can at least tell you I can narrow it down to 2 movies.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
I do think I know which one in particular it is. This one, though, I think we're going to have to actually go to the comments of this video.
To see. Yeah.
Yeah, to see it.
Okay. Now that you have the screen grab up, I'm not super confident in my answer, but okay. Amon says Revenge of the Sith, which is, I will say, is different than what I have.
Okay. What do you have? Here, pen. Okay. My hands are up. All right.
Okay.
So I'm not stealing an answer of that. What do you have?
Yeah. I have episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Just the very brief shot kind of reminded me of like the ship that all the clones are on, and that's really all I remember from Attack of the Clones.
Okay, yeah.
But then when you showed the full thing, I was like, no, that's not what I'm. That's it wasn't what I was thinking of, but in the quick flash, that's what I thought of. So
I'm trying to go through these videos to find the correct one.
Okay.
Yeah, where's
his face?
Yeah, just use that to, because I think there's only there's only the one. So we can find our.
Ronnie says, all right, guys, got to hit it. Great show. Have a good night. Good night, Ronnie. And Amon says,
night,
oh, yeah. And Ronnie says good night to Amon. Amon says, Rogue One was my other guess. Oh, okay.
All right. So, judging from the comments, I did get this right, actually.
Okay. And what did you have?
Kind of surprised because I think this one I've only seen like 3 times. Which might be a lot to some people, but
for you,
compared to the rest,
and compared to how much you've seen the other ones,
yeah. I had The Last Jedi.
Okay,
episode 8. So, and it was specifically, it was like just how the graphics looked. It was just very. I was like, okay, it's Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker in particular, just the space element of it. But a lot of The Last Jedi is set in space.
Yeah.
So that's where I went for that one. So
okay, and that's what the comments said as well.
Yeah, that's what the comments said.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we will trust the comments then. So
and like he does give like the answer into the next one, like in the caption kind of thing. So
okay.
But so there we go. I got 3, you got 2. But you know what? Like in fairness, though, you lost out on you lost out on The Last Jedi, which, like I said, is one that
I've seen that once.
Seen it like maybe 3 times. Yeah, exactly. It's not
like I saw it in theaters and that's it. So yeah,
it's not a lot of people's favorite. Let's put it that way. It's normally at the bottom of most people's list when they're ranking the Star Wars films. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that too.
Like it's not my favorite, but it's one I can appreciate for what it is or what it tried to do, I guess.
Yeah.
As an individual movie. As a trilogy, I got my whole other thing that I could do, like an entire like hour lecture.
Dude, you could have your own show. Like not even just one podcast, you could have your own show.
Yeah, exactly. So
so the fact that I got 2/3 of them right and you got 100%, which means I have 66.67% of the Star Wars knowledge that you do. I'm pretty happy with, because that's a lot of Star Wars knowledge.
Still have much to learn, my young apprentice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then hopefully some guy with from an alien race with a double-edged, not double-edged, but dual wielding, double-bladed.
Yeah.
Thank you, double-bladed sword, just like cuts you down, and then I can get some cool dark powers and a nice suit and stuff. And have a really sick, deep voice, like sicker than I currently do. So, like
a southerny James Earl Jonesy sounding,
that kind of type
voice.
Yeah. Like think Mufasa from The Lion King. I want that kind of voice.
Now, it's like obviously it wouldn't work, but imagine episode 9 for a second, right? Because the whole thing is Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, trying to become his grandfather, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. Mm-hmm. And they just have a scene there where it's like, because like Ben returns to the light kind of thing, and it's just the ghost of Anakin Skywalker. Remember who you are.
Yeah, like just appears in like a space cloud.
Yeah.
not even just like a regular Force ghost. He's like he's like in the reflection of the ship's like windshield, for lack of a better word. Just like exactly like shot for shot out of The Lion King.
Yeah, that'd have been hilarious.
That'd be good. That'd be really good. And I mean, owned by Disney, so they could do that and like not get sued.
But that would draw so many people out of it right away. But I was just like that's something that like a channel like How It Should Have Ended would do.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. Well, if people want to let Nate, where they or how they did on this quiz, assuming they watched the video version, but I mean, if you even got one right and you watched the
On just the
like
audio.
listened.
Good on you.
I'm impressed. So
means you know your John Williams scores really well.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, really quickly, I guess before you want to message me about what your score got. We had Oscar chime in. It's been a while, Oscar. How's it going, buddy?
Hey.
Y'all have to watch the insane ending of the Blackhawks versus the Stars.
Yeah.
So I had to pull up just the scoring summary here really quickly. The second period saw the vast majority of those goals for sure. Patrick Kane putting up 2 on the night.
Ooh.
Because he heard that I said he wasn't going to get moved.
Yeah.
And Max Domi as well, potting the game winner there for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to throw on some sports highlights after we're done here then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah. But yeah, good to hear from you again, Oscar. And we'll definitely check out the ending there. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, if you want to message me what score you got, you can tweet me at Tate Namas, TATENHOMAS on Twitter.
Yeah. And if you want to tell me how dumb my trade proposal was for Max Comtois, or if you have, less boneheaded trade proposals, then you can DM them to me at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97. And if you just have, general questions and inquiries for us, we are at Quack Report Pod on all of the things. Reminder, on Wednesday, we will be doing a live stream over on the THPN YouTube channel at THPN. And hope you have a good... No, that's next week. Next Wednesday. We'll see you next time. Go Ducks, go.